Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from all over the world. My name is Ayodeji Anifowoshi, and I'm great. I'm glad that you guys are here again this morning. I'm sure you've been enjoying the session from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and today, Saturday. I'm glad that you guys could make it down today. Today, I have a wonderful friend and brother who will be sharing with us. Some wisdom on how we can manage our finances. We've been hearing from several people for the past 5 days. So today will be another wonderful day. Wherever you are watching from all over the world, you can put in a comment. Let's know where you're watching from, and then I'm going to be out shortly for a quick break. When I'm back, I'm going to introduce my guest, and then we'll take it up from there. Once again, my name is still Ayodeji Anifowoshi. So, guys, don't change the dial. Waiting there. So I promised you guys that I was going to be back and I was going to be coming with my guest. And then it's not that person than my brother. I call him Pastor Femi Oyewunmi. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Great Father, Great Husband channel. Thank you for coming today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. I also want to use this opportunity to say thank you to all the marvelous things you're doing and the opportunity to also be on this platform. Thank you to
Uh,
all the viewers too for joining us.
yeah, thank you so much, sir. All right. I know there's a lot to discuss today, but we'll take it bit by bit. But before we start, can you please help with a word of prayer?
All right, let's pray. Father, we want to thank you, the glorious God, the one who owns all the universe. Thank you for the opportunity to be on this call. Thank you for what you're set to do, insights you are about to share with us. I pray for also every father on this call. It's a season of celebrating them. I ask that you bless them. I pray
Amen.
for the great father, the great husband, convener, and his entire family. I ask that you also bless them in the mighty name of Jesus. You're
Amen.
already a role model. You will not lose your salt, you will not lose your light in that. And I pray, oh
Amen.
God, that you please shine your light on this discussion. Help us to
Amen.
say the right things. Let our
Amen.
lives improve and let's become better people in life.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm sure many people want to know who is Pastor Femi Oyewunmi. Sorry, Oluwafemi Oyewunmi. Let me call it completely. Now, Oluwafemi
Okay.
Oyewunmi is a financial expert with focus on business and financial advisory services. Dynamic professional with over 10 years experience in directing strategic planning, audit program, and improve results for public and private organizations. An advocate of youth involvement in politics and good governance. He has served in different capacity as a Nigerian student ambassador to United Nations International Model in 2008, country coordinator to under 30 CEO Africa 2010 to 2012, member Young Africa Leadership International, leading local community education on electoral processes and governance. Passionate about young people and a preacher of the gospel. He has gathered several certification and education, and then is a powerful man, and I'm sure you guys are going to be blessed with him today. So thank you so much for having for making it a time for you to be here with us this morning, because it's a
Yes,
lot
thank
going on this weekend. Weekend is busy for the family, especially we know that tomorrow is
you.
Father's Day, and I'm sure your wife will want to
Abs-
have a whole of you,
Absolutely.
a whole
Absolutely.
of you.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure people who wants to hear from you directly. So can you please introduce yourself and your background in finance?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Again, my name is Oluwafemi Oyewunmi. I have a first degree in economics and then push forward for my MBA with a focus in finance and accounting. I've practiced in PwC, also in a bank, a commercial bank, and currently in the telecom industry. I focus so much around financial audit. I also do personally on building personal business finance, do financial advisory, I focus a bit more on the investment bit of it, and then also hedge some of the risk that is involved. So we hope to share something insightful for everyone on the call today. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you so much, sir. I'm sure you guys know that Mr. Femi Oyewunmi is an authority in whatever he says this morning. It's not something that probably he googled or found somewhere online. It's something that yeah, because these days now Google now has several answers. So some people will just go copy on Google and
And you
then
must be
they
careful of. I'm not against Google, but you must be careful of the things you find online because it's been dropped by different views. Anyway,
exactly. And circumstances of everyone is different. So
absolutely.
because this model worked for this person now, it doesn't mean it's going to work for me. And that's one thing people need to understand. So I'm going to start with the first question. What's the role of a father in the family?
Okay, so I like that you set the tone around the things I'm going to share, particularly that everything I'm going to share on the call are my experiences. You can, in the comment section, you can cite some of those things, but I'm sharing things that have worked for me, and I'm hoping that someone can learn from me, not necessarily taking the same path, but you can learn from that. So let me get to the question. What's the father's role in a family? I became a father properly, like having a child to look after January. So, Oluwafemi became 5 months 2 days ago, so I'm excited about that. It has been an exciting journey for
Great.
us. So, if I want to go, I will start with my own father. What are the qualities I've seen in my father? I see a father as the pillar of strength for the family. I also think the self purpose of support. Sorry about the background noise. That's my daughter right there. It's
Sure.
part of the father's role. And then the bit I call the guidance. One of the things I've enjoyed in my father's life is about the guidance I've actually received. Because um, you can be smart, you can be, you can be um, on top of your games, but there's some certain kind of history that you will not be privy to because of your age. I mean, I'm talking about people who have lived way like twice your age and even more than that. So if you look at a father is someone who shows a lot of examples, both to the spouse, the wife,
Hmm.
and the children, because the kind of belief system we build as a child, you look up to some people and you want to, and that's why you see some people, you see them talk, and people will say, "Are you from this family?" Because you influence a lot. So people talk about social media as influencer. The number one influencer in every wife, every child's life is the father. And
Yep.
a lot of values are built through the father. When you see your father act in a certain way. I remember while I was in school then, in boarding school, anytime my mom and my father wrote a letter to us, the final part is to say, remember the son of who you are. In fact, we
Son
crossed
of
it when we
God.
were about to. So if we're about to finish the letter, we'll just, without even looking at the paper, you just read it out. Remember who you are. So that stick with me. There is certain value system. For example, my parent keeps reminding us that we belong to God. There are certain things people cannot do that we can. Certain things people can do that we cannot do as children of God. So those things are value system principles about being content with what you have and not looking at what other people have. Just is a matter of
Hmm.
time you are going to get there and all that. So you need a father in your life. And let me also say this for those who don't have earthly father. You have a father that is the father of all father, and that is Jesus, who can fill that gap. I've heard some of my people said before that, oh, that person is not properly trained because he lacks a father. I said, if he gives his life to Jesus, God is going to fill that space of
Hmm.
an earthly father in that life. So the father plays a huge role. You want to find a support system. It comes from the father. It needs to show to the wife, shows to the children. You want to provide guidance on what to do. There are so many questions in the heart of young people they want to find out. Unfortunately, there are few fathers that are giving the right set of answers to their children. You lead in the place of prayer, lead in the like finances that we're talking about. You need to show your children those things that you're doing. A lot of decisions is sitting in the table. of the father who needs to stand up to those responsibilities. It's very key.
Wow, wow. One thing that you said that is very important is that part of example, being a role model is, it's huge
Absolutely.
in the society today. You know, it's very huge in the society today. I think I've given an example someone before. I said, one of my sessions, I said, there was a time I told my daughter not throwing of anything in the house, and then we've said it about, I think, after a week. Then my wife obviously forgot. Then my wife picked up something and threw it over. She said, "Mommy, no throwing."
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. And I can relate.
So
I was in a friend's house and we are eating on the dining table. And because they've seen us for a long time and was trying to gist us while we're eating. And the daughter goes, Daddy, remember the table manner rule. No talking while eating. And the father has said so many things like, you must finish what is in your mouth, even if you are asked the question before you open your. And like, Daddy, you're breaking the rules. I don't have that kind of confidence in my days. My father will beat the hell out of me.
you can't try it. Did you drink something that you?
I'm telling you, man. But today you see that they are very brave. It means that they are looking at us. Both the mothers and the fathers in the case here, you are the first example. It pains me when you hear some children at least from the very tender age, they pick other people as their role model. It's a sign that there is something unhealthy. The first role model any child should have should be the father and the mother at the beginning of their life.
Wow. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that. That was well explained. Um, my next question is, what's your definition of financial management? I know everybody have different perspective of looking at financial management. What's your definition, sir?
Okay, so for the purpose of those who are on the call, I'm not going to do a book definition. I just in the simplest part of it, so that a doctor on the call, a nurse on the call who has no business with anything finance can understand. It's just financial management is just the ability to plan your resources in your hand, the financial
Hmm.
resources in your hand, the act of planning it, the act of organizing it, the act of controlling it, the act of knowing where your money is going to. It's a pain when you get your salary or you get your income as an entrepreneur and you only account for it after you have finished spending it. You have to say, how come have I spent $1,000?
Hmm.
How come I've spent 100,000 naira? It is a bad place to be. So financial management is saying that even before you let the money go out of your, even before the money come, there's something we call budgeting. So meaning that you are planning for what to come. So for an example, all things being equal, if I'm still working on the job and I have my what do you call it? I have my appointment letter that details my salary. I can tell you my financial worth in a year because I know what is going to
Yeah.
come to me. The only
Hmm.
difference is the timing when it's going to come. Meanwhile, I know a particular date, 27, 28, the inflow is coming in. What am I going to do with it? I don't wait till when I get that money to start planning it. Do you have so that is the act of financial management, managing the finances that is in your, and remember, it's very scarce. Even when you earn good pay. Some people say good pay. I always say good pay is relative. If you meet the bank
Hmm.
MD, for example, in Nigeria, that earns as much as 240 million net in a year, the guy is saying it needs more money. He's getting
Hmm.
into other businesses to acquire more wealth. So when you say you are comfortable, how comfortable, how big is your small? How small is your big?
So
You know?
it's a big. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very important. How small is your small and how big is your big? So that
absolutely.
will
Yeah,
really help.
yes.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and that will move me to my next question, which is also relative to what you just said now. So now in the family, if I think I was in a conversation yesterday in Clubhouse, and you know, this same issue was brought up. I'm like, funny enough, I've been having this conversation during the week, talking about the issue of
Okay,
responsibility and management. So what's your opinion
okay.
about who should bear the financial responsibility and management in the family.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm also speaking. Remember when he was starting, he called me a pastor. You can't separate God from me, because the true master planner and the true definition of the kind of marriage God desire is being designed by God. So anytime I hear people say, "You forget what the Bible says, forget God, let's just try and think out this logically and all that," I already knew there's a problem. I don't take part in that kind of conversation, because you can't go. It's like explaining what needs to be done when you have a masterpiece that is guiding you.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow through the masterpiece, you are going to get the end result. People want a beautiful marriage, they want a home everybody can refer to, but they are not disciplined enough to go through what is required to get to that point. Responsibility in terms of finances at home. You hear the ladies say a lot that my money is my money and my husband's money is our money. I've been in several conversations where people come to say, if he says he's the head of the family, then he should share all the responsibility in the family. This is my view. I think that everything in the house needs to be discussed. If you are making a decision to move from your own space, your privacy, your life, and adding to another person, and the Bible says that two shall become one, then it means that everything, even beyond finances, responsibility at home belongs to both parties. I'm talking about the parents now. The father and the mother needs to have a discussion. People talks a lot about other things, and when it comes to finances, people tends to keep quiet. I was reading through some of the research because I did a presentation somewhere, and I discovered that 2 years below marriages were broken because of shock, the expectation. So somebody was trying to get married to this person, hoping that he has so much and he can become comfortable. Some ladies got married to some guys not because they really want to spend the rest of their life with them, but
Mm,
because there are responsibilities. They want to leave their family. They want to just start.
mm,
Pressure from friends and all that, and then they get into that marriage, and then the reality setting. And 2 years below, finance has been the major problem of
mm.
breaking those homes. I also read that infidelity takes, I mean, a small percentage. If I
Another
can find it
portion.
before the end of the call, I can actually share with you. Meaning that some spouse are okay for their guys to cheat, for their wife to cheat. They can still continue in the marriage. So you find people that they know their partner is cheating, but they're okay.
Hmm.
They're cool with it. Let's just do our thing and come back together. But when it comes to the role of finances, paying the bills, paying all of this, it has caused so much issue that it has separated so many people and led so many people into divorce. And that is why
Yeah.
conversation must happen. And I always like to also share this, that in the place of finances, you need to open up. There's a difference between being honest and being open.
Hmm.
For example, if somebody gives me a call and say, Femi, I want to have a lunch with you, um so place in a particular location, and let's, for an example, my wife is not available and all that, and then she calls and said, babe, how are you doing? I said, I'm fine. Have you taken lunch today? I say, yes, I've taken lunch. I enjoyed my lunch. Great. So she moves on to other thing, and that was it. I'm just being honest. I've taken lunch, right? Where did I take the lunch? I left the house to go and hang out with one babe, took the lunch and all that. Maybe somebody saw us in that place and then
Mm.
decided to talk to my wife and say, I saw your husband somewhere with someone. And then she calls to say, babe, I've asked you that. Did you take lunch? Now she's moving from the level. So I'm spending the card of my trust because I have decided to limit the information I've shared with her by being honest. But in marriage, you have to be open.
Hmm.
Some
Hmm.
guys are going into those kind of marriages where they don't even tell their spouse how much they earn. I'm proud to say this why on this call. When we are getting married 3 years ago, about 4 years now, 4 years ago, 2017, and then I had to tell my wife, this is how much I earn. This is all the investments I've done. This is the kind of properties I bought before coming to you. You need to be aware of all of these things. It will shock you that many marriages today, some female are building houses, acquiring properties, and they are scared to tell their partners about it. Something is fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
Something is
Yeah.
fundamental. So
Yeah.
in looking at the responsibility at home financially, you need to sit together. I always said this. It's not everybody that can deal with the joint accounting, that you only have a single purse. That's where I desire to be. But if it's not possible for you, open up to your partner to know exactly how much you guys are earning. It will reduce expectation. So imagine that my wife is thinking that I earn 2 million naira in a month, and she's asking me for expenses that is in that scale. But in the
Exactly.
actual fact, I don't even get half of it. So
Mm.
see, you can see the level of disparity in expectation. But when she's clear around, and then this is the first guys, they always say that if you tell your wife how much you earn, she's going to spend all of it. Then it means you have not married the right person. My
Exactly.
wife, my wife is one of the best, what do you call it, manager. She's the house manager here, she's the house manager on all of those things. You can imagine how I talk so much about finance, and I still have my struggles as regards what to spend on. I'm putting myself under discipline, and I'm open, and I'm accountable to her on those things that we need to do, because she is even more prudent in the areas of, accountability and all of those things. So you need to find each other's values. What do you define as money? To
Mm.
some is about spending, to some is about investing. So you need to have conversation. What do we need? So for example, you can set up a joint account. If you need to do any project, you can have your individual's account. I mean, it's so lame sometimes when you have to call to say, babe, buy me a recharge card, oh, buy me this, because you are. My wife's banking portal is on my phone. I have all the password and everything. Same. We all have access to all that we have. Some people can't do that, but the truth is that it's a good place to be.
Hmm. Wow. I love that. Sincerely, uh, it's a struggle. Yesterday, the conversation in the clubhouse, people are taking, and I think I think when we start taking marriage out of the circle of God, it's already off,
It's key.
completely off. You
When you
can't
say
get it
marriage
again.
out of it, crisis already. It's crisis already. When
It's
God is
like
out of
you taking a Tesla car out of the hand of Elon Musk. What have you done?
I mean, I mean, I mean,
It can't
even
work.
your phone, even your phone. So my Apple phone, I discovered some new stuff this week, and because I did an update to my phone and gave me tips of the things that they have done, so I didn't know there was a preview on my chat. So if I don't want to read any messages, I just want to have a preview to it. I can just press down the button, do a quick preview of it. Even my emails, do a quick preview of it. I never knew, but these guys had to put it on the tips. And thank God I clicked on it, because I would have been underutilizing all of those things. So you need to have God in the center of all of this. Responsibility, finance, oh my goodness. You will be free to open up whatever you have, because I mean there's no cause for an alarm.
Exactly.
There's no cause for an
I,
alarm. Yeah.
yeah. I okay. My wife even just came up now. She said, "Good morning, sirs. Great session so far."
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. God bless
I
you.
traveled. I traveled some time ago, and was with a couple of friends for work, and we're talking about our rent and expenses, and then I told them that I don't need to bother about that. They said why? I said my wife already has access to my account, that she will withdraw whatever needs to be taken care of the house. I said, hey, won't she finish your money? I'm like, if she finish it, it's good because it's my
It's
wife.
our, it's our money.
Then, like you said, it means that you now need to be sure of who you are getting married to. So
Absolutely.
if you don't know the person you are getting married, then that's where the problem is. And if you're not open to wherever you're married to, then you're already creating a problem, because that's where it is. And that money part is very important. And
Yes.
that takes me to my next question, which is a very great challenge, especially among men. We want to be successful, but the question is, how do we even define success to know, okay, if you know what success is, then you know what you are driving at. So how would you define success out?
I mean, there are so many definitions to success to different people. Let me put it this way. If I'm planning to build a house and I have a project to say in the next 1 year, I want to build a house and I need resources, I need manpower, I need all of this and all. And then I was able to get the resources, get the things together, get the architects and all of those people in within the timeline, or even if it's flip over and all that. But at the end of the day, I am able to build the house. I have been successful in that area. So my definition to that would be whatever assignment that you have been given or you have put yourself to, because sometimes you need to challenge yourself. You need to set some goals for yourself. The ability to focus on that and fulfilling that is success to me. The challenge we have where we have trouble is when we begin to compare ourselves to other people. So if I've set a goal to say, I want to do my MBA this year and become an MBA holder, and if you go on LinkedIn, if you're not careful, you can be depressed. If with the kind of stories you get and all that, it seems like your life is on the stop. Why someone is celebrating, oh, thank God I'm 30 years old, I finished my MBA from one of the Ivy League schools and all that. And then you go to see 24 years old, a PhD, graduating in the same year, in the class 2021. And you begin to wonder, if you are not careful, and if you bring that back to the perspective of a family, one of the problems people are going through in their family, they keep comparing their husband's friend, their wife's friend, what they are doing well to themselves. And it is wrong. Every family is unique in its way. When I pick my mentors, in the cadre of years. Somebody, when I was sharing at first with my wife was like, how do you have so many mentors? Like 3 of them in the area of marriage. I said, because we need to be better than them. So we'll learn. We picked the one that is like 5 years lower. We picked like 11 years, 12 years now lower, and we pick someone who is already in the 30 years of their marriage. Why did we do that? We don't just want to use one family to replicate ours. We are learning certain things from them so that we can have the uniqueness of our own. Stop comparing your journey with another person. Success to me is you set a goal to do something and God gives you grace to accomplish that thing. That is success to me. If I've planned this year that I want to win 100 souls, at the end of the year, I have praised myself. I've seen the 100 souls. I have been successful in that area of my life.
Wow. Thank you for that, because it's very important. That's what get people into all kind of things. You know, like you said, you look at marriages and like, oh, this person, and you know, I'm speaking also for people that are married and they don't yet have a child. I pray that God Almighty will bless you with a wonderful
Amen.
child and children that you need in Jesus' name.
Amen.
But still, because somebody has children, maybe the person is way younger than you, and the person probably is done, you know, giving birth to children, and you feel because of that you're not successful. No. And we keep comparing. And okay, my mom was giving me a very good example. She said she looked at people that compare the fact that they don't have a child and there's some people have a child. She said, if you know what some people that even have a child are going through,
absolutely,
some of them secretly would have want that child to even die because of what the child is putting everything through.
absolutely. And if you look at it, the pain of losing a child that you have raised for 5 years, and the one who have not conceived is never the same.
Never.
In terms of all the resources and all, I've been on this journey. See, we are celebrating 5 months of my child of my daughter, but that was not the beginning. There was a 9 months before that time. I mean, everything have changed. Everything have changed. You know, even going out, just hanging out somewhere, you start thinking, oh, is it a place where a child can come? How do we cater for her? Everything have changed. Now imagine losing someone at that level. It causes more pain than the person who has not even given back to one. So again, like you said, we need to stop that. The culture, you know, our culture has really destroyed us a lot, and there's a to unlearn certain things. There's a need to get closer to God to know what is even more valuable. The question is, if you don't have a child, will you make heaven? Absolutely yes.
That's
Some
it.
are going to get married. Some people think marriage is like the all success. When you talk to some girls, anytime they find a guy that says that promises them marriage, they don't even check character level. They don't check
At
anything.
all.
They are ready to go. We are shortly
At all.
before this, we were discussing, myself and my wife and one of my friends in the house. The lady was so desperate that she bought her own ring, told the guy, proposes to herself, and then took the ring to go and show all her friends that the guy has proposed.
Ah!
It's success to you. I mean, you can be doing fine. I have people that I look up to in my life, in my cycle, 50 years old, not yet married. They are doing successfully more than many of us that are even married in their
Yeah.
careers. Say they are a failure. They are not. They are not. We just
I
need to
met
change the way we see all of these things.
I met a guy who is not my friend. Is an Olympic medalist guy in the US, and he's 50. So he said his parents are tired of him, that they want him to get married. That I hope I'm not coming to preach that sermon to him too. I'm like, well, it's not the Bible did not say that you must get married, but it's something that will have been lovely for you to do if you can do. He's not married, and it's like he's not sure when he wants to get, and he's 50 already, and he's doing fine. He's doing pretty well in whatever he's doing, and he's a nice guy. Even my 1 hour conversation with him, I could see what kind of person he is. So, let's stop all this race and relay race. And
People for whatever reason, for people have their story. You need to know where they are coming from.
yeah,
I'm telling you, some people, they can't even date properly, and they need to sort themselves out before going out to date someone. And then you are putting them under pressure to go. They are going to destroy the life of the next person they are going to meet. So we need to
yeah,
stop judging them. We need to change our perspective around the things. No, no, we don't have one thing that fits all. I mean, I heard this in my own region in Nigeria, for example. If a lady is becoming 28, 29, the desperation begins to increase. And it shouldn't be that way. God has designed someone for you, and he will
yeah.
surely. So just be patient. Just make sure that your relationship with God is not tampered with. Once that is
That's that's all.
intact, be rest assured that God is going to sort you out.
That's all.
Absolutely.
That's all. Taking me to my next question. When I was 25, I thought I was ready to get married, and God, God told me boldly and clearly. Even though I tried to dribble around it. Young man, you are not ready to be married. You have another for 5 years. I'm like, 5 years. Who did I offend? I'm not. I'm not Jacob. And I'm not sure if I've told you this personally before, but I know I've mentioned in some places. The month that it became exactly 5 years that God told me to wait, that same month that I clocked 30, the last day of the month was when I saw my wife.
Wow,
And
amazing.
I'm sure you know the story. So
You I know.
that day,
You are a testimony to every one of us. Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
day was the last day of the month that it became exactly 5 years God asked me to wait for. Even though I struggled with it, I tried to manipulate it in my way, and so sometimes you think there's a certain, yeah, it's good to marry early. Trust me, it's good. But what is God? What has God designed for your life? That's what matters.
So exactly that you are just hit it on the point. Absolutely. You need God in the center of every of it. God can recover the years you think you've lost. I mean, take for an example, we left the university by the grace of God. I left university like 11, 12 years ago. A friend of mine who didn't get any job, he has not worked a proper job since we left the university. We kept asking questions, a whole lot of stuff was going on and all that. And 2 years ago, from nowhere, he got a scholarship in the US to do his master's, fully funded with expenditure, what's called out of pocket expenses and all that.
Whoa,
What he has acquired is about 3, 4 years down the line now. What he has
whoa,
acquired compared to some people who have been in the labor market in my set. He has gathered more. I mean, when somebody is already saying that I built my own house, he built his own
Whoa.
house, not Nigeria. He didn't build the house in Nigeria. So you know
Whoa.
what I'm about.
Yeah.
Convert how much dollar to have a home in the US
It's not
compared to
beans. Trust me.
and I was going on a trip. I was going on a trip to the US sometime early in the year, and I met one of our class boy who was who was helping me out at that time. I think I was trying to get extra luggage. I was trying to pay for extra luggage, and then the guy just showed up from nowhere. I said, Femi, I've even forgotten his name. I exchange pleasantry, and then we talk and all that. I said, what are you doing now? And they said, yes, you just come in, manage people, see wood people, and then get some stipend from that and all that. And I'm like, is this what you are doing? He said, this is what he has been doing in the last 4 or 5 years. And if you put those guys side by side, why this one was waiting for about 8 years, God was building that person too. It's not like God has forgotten that person. Because we were so desperate. We even thought it was a spiritual problem and all of this. We went
Whoa.
back and forth praying and all that. But God, maybe if he has started a job, he won't even think of applying to any school that will give him such an opportunity. God is always involved in our matter. We just need to be a bit more patient. Maybe we have another time to talk about what we should do in the place of waiting. We are
Yeah,
just
that's something that's very important.
generation is a generation of now. We
Now,
don't take the process at all.
the microwave generation.
Absolutely, that is it, sir.
So my
That is,
next question,
yes, sir.
people want to know, okay, I'm going to retire one day. So when should I start saving for retirement? And then I'm going to want you to answer the question, the two questions together. When should I start saving for retirement, and how much should go into my retirement pot?
Okay, let me just put this into perspective. For example, in Nigeria, the government has made it compulsory for employers to pay some amount of money based on your basic salary into a retirement fund account. We call it RSA account.
Wow.
The government has mandated 10% of your annual gross that goes into that, and a compulsory 8% of your own gross too. So meaning that 18% of what you earn in a year is
Wow.
going to into that RSA account on a monthly basis. Let me also quickly speak to those who are trying to apply for a job. One of the ways to know how healthy the kind of job you are picking up is to find out if they pay your pension. It's very key that you are very particular about it. Don't let people just offer you some juicy money, and then when you ask about their pension, they said they don't remit pension, they have added it to your salary. You are eating your future. It should not be. In fact, I've taken it a step further. When I was speaking this job I'm currently on 4 years ago, I even made the employer to pay additional. So the government says pay minimum of 10%, and I will be remitting 8%, making 18. I insisted that my employer should increase that 10%. They were desperate to have me. So I increased it additional 4% into that 10%. So my employer,
Whoa.
instead of paying 10%, paid 40% on my behalf, while I'm remitting what do you call it?
8%.
8%. Out of that 4%, we call it a voluntary retirement, whatever. I can even increase my own 8% if I want to. So I'm always telling people, think about the future. Like the financial management you're asking is part of it. You need to start thinking for the future. Many of us like to dream of going to the Bahamas, doing this when I'm 60, or when I'm this, I want to be traveling. What money are you going to be spending at that time? Your retirement saving, if you don't have a job, maybe you are working on your own job, maybe you're an entrepreneur, you write, you do all of this, you need to start now setting money aside to put into investment that can yield. And those are the things that guide the kind of investment you do. It can, for your retirement savings, it's a long-term investment. So for an example, I was talking to one of my mentors. What he did, I asked him a single question. I said, what are you doing at my age? And you know what he told me? He said, I was buying properties, I was buying land in each of the states in Nigeria. And I was shocked. It has never crossed my mind that why
Wow.
will I buy land in Abuja? Why will I
Each
go
of
and
the
buy
states.
when I'm not even in that place? but he was looking for strategic places. He was going around. He wasn't planning to live there. He wasn't even planning to build. He was just buying those things. When the land becomes more appreciated, and then he's going to sell off.
So enough.
Real
Wow.
estate. Your real estate can be your own retirement part. So if you want to ask me, oh, I don't have money, I don't have a single amount of money to put into that RSA to buy a land of 500,000 or maybe a 1 million. Pick a short-term goal. Put money into mutual fund. When you have it, maybe you are saving like 20K or something. Put it, don't let it be part of what you are spending. Separate it into that account where you can do short-term investment, 90 days, 100 days, 150 days, or 365 days. And when you have accumulated it together, go ahead, but make sure you are buying from the right source. Any investment you want to put your money into, be sure you have a knowledge of it. Be right. Don't let, I mean, there's a lot of cryptocurrency, this one currency, and all that is ongoing. And you want a quick way of making so much percentage. When you're thinking about your retirement, don't be bothered about how much of those interest that is coming. It's not juicy. It's not juicy. You can go into stock. So if you want to buy, if I'm planning my retirement, apart from what my organization is doing, I'm also putting money into stock. I look at organizations that are just starting off. Their shares is like 40 kobo, 60 kobo. I'm buying them now because I know in 10 years time,
It will appreciate.
they can become 25 naira. And look at the margin. So I don't say because GT Bank is currently 46 naira, and I know by Tuesday maybe it's going to increase to 47. There are some people who are in that space. They just do that short time. They look at it, buy when it's down, and then quickly buy and sell off when it's high. Some people are doing that. I'm not interested in that if I'm doing my retirement plan. There are some other short-term goals I have. Current things I want to get done. I also think of the kind of investment that will fit into that. That's how to become financially intelligent. So I would just say, to round this up, is that start saving now. Look for the portfolios that can give you the result of what you are looking for and get into it. Ask questions. See, one of the easiest ways, ask people who are very versatile in this area and go for it. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for answering those two questions in one. It's very important. As a matter of fact, that retirement issue is very important, which is something I might delve into later in future as God will permit me to do so, because we need to plan how we want to end our life. Some people feel it's something that you don't need to discuss. I don't want to delve into that now, because that's a deep conversation, because it's causing a lot of issues among, especially we blacks and African. We have a different mentality around that area. So my next question, thank God you just had a baby now. So people usually ask, okay, when can I really afford to have a baby? When how can I look at myself and say, oh, I think I'm good enough to have a baby now?
Truth be told, you cannot be 100% ready to have a baby. It's always good to plan. Even to conceive, to have a baby, is not absolutely in your hand. I mean, having sex to have a baby doesn't automatically mean you're going to have a baby. But there are certain things you need to put into perspective. And I'm also free to share this. I know my wife won't stand against this. When we got married in 2017, she was working a job that will have her travel more time outside the country and less of the time in the country. At that time, I also left PwC because I was doing a lot of travels too. Practically, we are having two strangers getting married that will not practically have time for each other. And it's not like we have control over the kind of countries where we are going to be. In fact, at that time, I was doing a lot of local travel. So I moved from Abuja to Port Harcourt to this place while she was doing international travels. It only makes sense to sit down to say that, hey, we can't have a baby now. If you have that baby, it's like stopping our life. It's like putting a stop to part of our aspiration. And that is where some fathers, and let me talk to the guys, that's where you miss it. You may have done something to your wife that she will find it very hard to forgive you. Marriage doesn't stop you. Marriage amplifies who you are. Marriage shows whatever capacity you have. And how to enjoy it is how to magnify those good things, positivity in your wife, in your husband, how to support it. I saw a video when a lady was talking to the ladies to say that, yes, you may wear jewelry and look fine and all that. Sometimes what the man is looking for is who can listen to part of his plan and idea and how to push it forward. Same goes for the ladies, how to listen to your wife and know what is more important to her and see how you can push for it. I told my wife, we had an agreement. We can't have a baby now. We need some time to get ready. Ready is not like we don't have money to take care of the baby, but we need quality time with that kind of child. There is a kind of child we are looking for. It's not like every other child. We want to spend time with that child. We want to do this. Thank God for COVID. You know, people have their reasons for COVID. I'm sorry, I'm not being insensitive. Some people
No.
love us and all that. I will never forget COVID-19 in my entire life. It brought so much opportunity for us as a family. So you must agree together. I have cases where the lady is not ready to get married, and why the husband is pushing for marriage, and then they are not in the married man. The man is pushing for having a baby, but the lady is not ready for a baby. You need to have a conversation. And once you make up your mind, what are the things you need to put in place? You need to have a place that is spacious enough to take care of you and your baby. So if you are living in a one-room apartment and you have just one bed, you and your wife, if you are planning to have a baby, you need to start thinking of buying a cot where you can keep the baby. That's how to get ready.
Yeah.
You need to ask, what are the things you need to put in place? You need to change your diet to help you have a baby. All of these things, you need to find out how much it costs to raise a baby. I mean, some of my friends, I didn't know that they are actually millionaires. But because they are paying school fees, so when they pay school fees each term, calculate all this, the money they are putting into school fees. They are even richer than me. I'm just flouting and enjoying myself because I don't have a responsibility in that area. You must be clear. And God desires you to take care of that because you are just a custodian. So away from those who just go open their laps and then begin to have them and dump them off, God is going to ask you how you have to.
Yeah. Well, I think that must be network. Our guest will be back shortly now. I guess network is giving issues over there. It's going to be back shortly, and then when it's back, we'll continue from where it probably stopped. So before you come back, I think one of the things that we need to look at when we talk about really affording having a baby or not is that you need to find a way around to prepare yourself. You can prepare and have conversation like you just mentioned. Have conversation. What are you guys planning to? How can you guys, put all those things together? I think our guest is back here. All right, sir. Sorry about that.
It's the internet.
Yes,
The internet. Yeah.
I know. So my next question quickly is 2 in 1. Do I really need emergency saving fund, and how much emergency money is needed?
This is very relevant. I saw a fact book that says that over 80% of Nigerians have less than 1 month of their salary saved up. Why do you need emergency fund? It's because of emergencies. So I can't tell what is going to happen to health tomorrow. Again, if you are working a job and you have health insurance, that's part of your emergency. Emergency fund has been saved up to take care of your health insurance. But some people don't even have health insurance. So when anything happens, then there's trouble. Look at COVID-19. COVID-19 happened without telling any one of us, and then people were asked to go back home. So people's salaries were slashed. They don't have anything. And it's not like there is one money they've saved up to live. The reason why you need to have emergency fund, and I always advise people, you must have minimum 3 months of your salary saved up. Why is it important? If you are sacked on a job and it's going to take some time to look for another job, you can live on those things that you have saved up. And that kind of fund is not sitting in your savings and current account. You need to put it in a short time, 90 days treasury bills. Put it into mutual fund that you can withdraw from anytime anything happens. It is important to get into that. Some people don't know how to take care of their family. Anything can happen to the family. Accident can happen. This is the reason why you need that emergency fund. How much do you need to put into it? Personally, myself and my wife have come up with a ratio on how we spend our money. So take an example that our total income in a year is 100 naira. What we have done is we've honored God with 10% of that income, and we are left in 90%. And then we take our 40% into investment. We're a bit aggressive because of certain things we need to get done. So we take 40% into that, making it 50. And now we take 10% to pay ourselves. Whatever he needs to buy, whatever he needs to get, if I need a new shirt and all that, which also controls the way you spend. Because if I want to buy an Apple wristwatch and my 10% that is coming to me, I don't have enough to spend on that, I can keep saving my 10% until I am able to buy the Apple wristwatch. But look at the magic that happens to it. If between the time I'm saving it up to the time I want to buy it, I may have a change of interest in what to use it for. When you sit a child in front of a TV, either a cable or Netflix or something, when you put on the cartoon, you see the excitement. Sit a teenager in front of that cartoon, may not interest him. Sit an adult in front of that TV too, you want to watch CNN. Your views and your vision begin to change as you mature. And that's why you need to stay in the place of that planning. So if we take 40% into our own investment, making 50, we pay ourselves that 60. We have put our expenses that we are, well, and we have aggregated it as a 20% of what we will use in a month. So if you add that to the 50, making 70, our emergency fund is that 30% that is left. So if we have family that we need to respond to, issues we need to respond to, that's where we are taking on. Like I said, we are not keeping it in our savings or current account where we can easily use ATM and take it out. We put that into investment. I'm not saying that's the perfect way to do it, but it's something that you can consider.
Yeah, very important. Thank you so much for explaining that, because that emergency part fund is very, very important. I'm going to take a question from the comment. Before I do that, let me just quickly ask this next question. So now, this is another challenge. People borrow money for whatever reason, and I think that one also is a very big issue, because you actually know what to borrow money for. So should I save or clear debt? And then what should I what will warrant me to actually take a loan? Do I really need to take a loan to have it? That's two main questions. So should I save or clear debt? Then what should I borrow for? All right, sir.
So when you talk about debt, I always say this to people that are curious to know, most especially for entrepreneurs that are going into business, and the first thing they think about is money, how to raise money. I always tell them that the first thing you need is the idea. The idea will produce where to get the money and the kind of funding that you need. Maybe you need to go to an angel investor, or you need to do a debt equity where you are getting money for people to be part of your company, or you are taking an outright loan, which is a creditor when you need to pay back. Debt kills your creativity as an entrepreneur. When you are under the burden of debt, you can make silly decisions. You won't think properly. It kills your creativity. Some people have become so comfortable with debt. And let me tell you this. Let me read this to you. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7 says, just as the rich rules the poor, so the borrower is a servant to the lender. It's a bad place to when you owe any man anything. Your hand is always under. Remember, it was debt that took the Israelites, hunger took them from Israel to Egypt, and they spent over 400 years in the land of Egypt. When you borrow, you are under. It kills you. You don't know. Spiritually, some people come to borrow from you with intention not to pay back. They are putting themselves under bondage. Even without you putting them on anything. So I always want people, be sure before you go into borrowing. I only borrow people money for business. I don't borrow people money for personal. I saw somebody's test that said that he wants to travel with Daddy Gio to Israel, so he needs 2 million naira. I don't pay anyone. Even the banks that you go to, banks will not give anybody that cannot pay back the loan any money. They check your debt profile before they release anything to you. So if you want to borrow for personal consumption and all that, I'm sorry, think outside the box. Anytime you need to borrow for anything, and that's why I said that you may be going into a big, or you are expanding your business and all that, and you need to consider what kind of funding do I need? Do I need to get angel investors that believe in this business that will just put money down and say go and run with it? Or am I looking for partners to join me? They bring their money, I'm bringing my ideas, and begin to share the profit. That's what we call the debt equity one. Or do I need to take an outright loan? And if you check around now, the percentage of the loans, even from the banks around, is very expensive. Check with your friends. Don't be selfish when you have a business idea. Share with people that can be part of that business. Let them be EDs. Let them be directors in that thing. Your small begin become good, and soon enough, it will become better. Some people just want to start big and end small. So you must appreciate the process. So it's very important that we don't joke with so clear your debt first before you start saving. Does it make sense? You're saving more money and you're owing some people. Does it make sense? It's not a good place to be.
I want to just touch on the issue of starting up a business. When I started my company back in Nigeria, many people probably thought maybe I had an influence of people here and there. I didn't even talk to anybody. My father didn't even know I started a business. I just started it, and then I think that night, the cash I had with me, this was far back in when was 2012. The cash with me home and abroad was 10,000 naira that day.
Wow.
And because I have a discipline that I put myself into, I do not ask my father or my mother for money. No. If I ask them, they will give me. But I just wanted to figure out life as a young man, at my age, and I had to put my penalty on God. So it was crazy. And I'm like, I'm going to start a company. Like, guess what? I had the idea. I put it up together. I shared it with a few people. And that's one thing you said. Don't be so, let anybody that want to steal your idea steal. It can't be what you want to do.
How many ideas are they stealing? I mean, there are even laws to guide your ideas. So some people don't even know that you can patent some of your brands. You can patent these things. It's very important. You can do it. And people will put your name on it. I said, let's roll to Rumble, that they used to say when they are fighting wrestling. That man is still earning money till date.
Can you imagine?
He got a patent on it. So education helps us to know what we need to do. Just share with people. Let people jump on it for you. Let people even look at it. Is the idea you are talking about, is it smart?
Exactly.
We are in that place.
It's very important.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you now. Yeah, so at the end of the day, the same people I spoke to, they had a meeting with a governor, and they mentioned part of the services I was looking forward to offer in my company. And immediately the guy said, yes, I know somebody. He has not done this job for me before, but he's a credible guy. So when he says he's doing something, we trust him. And that was how I got the first contract. Hello? I guess it's going to be back. And that was how I got the first contract, guys. And then at the end of the day, here I am. I did the first job. And things was okay. So sometimes you probably think you have to borrow money here and there, but first of all, build up the idea and then move it up from there. And I'm sure at the end of the day, you will get your business done. So like I was saying before you went off, at the end of the day, they spoke about me in the front of the governor. Then the governor sent for me. I did the first job. The governor was so impressed. I had no plan about it before, but as soon as I got that call, I have 48 hours to get my team together to go do the job. We did the first one. They were so impressed. We did the second one. And that was how I remember the first job. They paid me cash. After paying all the staffs, after paying for everything, my brother, I came home with over 250K one day. Wow. My jacket was filled up from 10,000. So sometimes you think you need to borrow money here and there. Sometimes all you need to do is to develop that idea and share with people prayerfully. Absolutely. Share with people prayerfully, and that might open the door for you. That was the first time I would do that job. I've never done the service for anybody before in my life. I didn't even know what it looked like. Maybe I didn't test on anything. I just spoke about the song.
Maybe we'll spend some another time
let's talk about businesses that you can start without any cover. You know, it would be good to have. A friend of mine who started a small shop business, his first customer paid. So he just did a freelance small chops. He went to his friend's place and they were doing a party, did a small chops and then shared it. And somebody said that I love this small shop so much. I said, who did it? And I was saying, yeah, it's one of my friends. The wife said, no, he's a businessman, he's into small chops. I said, okay, can he do small chops for our party? And then they called the guy, I mean, somebody you know, I didn't just want to mention his name here.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, he's going to do it, he's going to do it. And then the woman said that you are going to do social content. He said, where is he going to get that money from? He was asking the family friend. He said, no, now, ask them to give you an advance. And then she called the woman, our policy is that you give us an advance. He actually collected the cost that he needed to produce all of it. Did branding, put his number and whatever, took the whole stuff there. While he delivered, they paid the balance to him. He didn't use his shishi to begin that business. Today, he's running in $1 million. When you see these small chop packs, you know that this guy is in the serious business of small chops. And he has moved to other things. He has spread from small chops even into other areas of business. You just need to start with the idea, really.
Wow. Thank you so much for today. You really shed light on a lot of things. I think we need to come back honestly, because I had a plan, which I just spoke to. In fact, it was the guest we had yesterday. So we had the discussion too that I had to do a series on fatherhood today and investment, because many people need to know, okay, how do I invest, and then all of that life insurance policy, all of that. How can I prepare for my exit? You know, all of that. We're going to have that conversation. But I'm sure people want to know how they can follow up with you after now. Is there a way people can actually link up with you on the social media after now?
Yes, you can. If you go to @gov_Oluwafemi, you'll find me on Twitter. I mean, some part of the country says you can't use Twitter now anyway, but you can connect with me there. You can connect with me on Instagram on @GOV_Oluwafemi. That's Governor Oluwafemi. Just by typing my Oluwafemi Oyewunmi, you should be able to pop it up. You should have all my handles there. Let's start the conversation. I'm always willing to get into your business if you get me involved. I know that there's always something valuable I can share with you to help you in your financial journey. Yeah.
I was almost missing a question somebody asked quickly. Let me just direct it quickly. He said, help us, Pico. How do we build an emergency fund when the basic salary isn't enough to run basic needs?
Thank you very much. I get this kind of question all the time. There cannot be, or don't let me say that. You will always find yourself in a situation where your basic salary is never enough. And that's the truth. I can use my life as an example. When I started my first job, I mentioned to you that I started with a bank. My first salary was about 151,000 naira, which my mother that has been in service never such as a salary for 30-something years. So another time when I was getting that 151, I was living with one of my aunties. I wasn't paying rent and all that. The money was never enough. So if you don't build the discipline, it's like paying tithes. If you cannot pay tithes of 10 naira out of 100 naira, it's difficult to pay 1 million naira out of 10 million. I can tell you for free.
Yeah.
That's my situation. If you are not faithful over 10 naira out of 100, you will see 1 million as a big deal. I'm telling you, the higher you go, the more difficult it becomes. When I joined PwC, I was told that I can't go on bikes, I can't go on tricycles, I have to join Uber. And even if I can't afford it, the company is going to afford it because at a certain level, they need me to appear in a certain way. In fact, I know of Deloitte that used to buy 5 white t-shirts. Anyone on the call can testify to that you need to wear to work to appear in a certain way. Soon enough, I have to move out from the mainland to go to the island because I close very late, and you can't keep telling your employer that you need to go to a far place. In fact, some of the properties of the organization you are taking with you, you can't carry them home if you live in some part of the country. Things begin to change. Your level begins to change. But the disciplines never change. And that's the fundamental truth. So if you are on any 100 naira now, see yourself, and the simple way to live with that content is live below your means. If you earn 100 naira, I tell you, you can still have emergency fund. Break it down in those ratios. See, your own percentage of emergency fund may be 10% if you have agreed that that's what you want to do. But always remind yourself that that 10% doesn't belong to you. So in whatever calculation you are doing or whatever you want to spend, you must not touch that emergency fund. You must not touch the money you are putting into investment. It doesn't belong to you. It's like eating your future. So you can't afford to do that. And also tell to people who, so for example, I have told you I moved to the island. But remember, before I moved to the island, it took me 2 years. If your rent is more than 3 months of your salary, you are going to be under financial burden. So somebody, and then how am I going to rent an apartment? The apartment there is, hey, listen to me. Anywhere your 3 months salary can rent for you, that's where you belong for now. And it's not a permanent place. It's just a phase. I'm no longer on the island. By the grace of God, I'm in a better place. There's a season for that. So you need to understand your season. You need to understand how to show that discipline. The discipline is consistent. I know of people who are 100,000 naira living with a family and they still borrow people who earn about 500K before the month ends. What's the difference? Discipline. You must take a percentage into your investment, no matter how small it is. You must see. When God was talking about, and I'm very passionate about this, God said, be fruitful and multiply. It is a shame if anything comes to you without multiplication before going out. It is a shame as a child of God. You must think of how to multiply it before it gets out of your hand. It must be multiplied. If you don't take that discipline right from now, you are going to have a lot of problems as you journey ahead. You can earn 5 million naira in a month. What is 5 million going to do? I saw Wizkid's bill that he spent at the club. 3.6 million naira on just one night, bought 32 bottles of water and some other wine, other dry gin. So what are we talking about? So you must be disciplined. Show that discipline with the little. The Bible says, if you are faithful over little, he will give you the opportunity to be faithful over the big ones.
Wow. Thank you so much for answering that question. In fact, you really put it out the way it should be. Sometimes I think we buy some things that we do not need, we pay for some things that we do not need, and then every now and then, personally, we in my family we keep reviewing our finances to see what else can be taken out. Okay, for example, now we are using a mobile carrier that was charging us a particular amount of money. And then I was looking, I'm like, can't I get something better and cheaper? So I was shopping around again, and I found another better carrier with a cheaper one that will save me $20 every month.
And that's something, because if you multiply $20 by 12, you're not talking about a significant amount of money, and people don't know.
Yeah.
I wrote something about knowing your expenses. Be familiar with your expenses. What happens to people is that the money would have gone before they start accounting for it. You must be familiar with your biggest. That's what organizations sit in strategy to do. They sit in the place of strategy. Who is taking our money? And that's the most important person in that organization. Where are we spending so money into? How can we reduce our expenditure in those areas and we become profitable? It's as simple as that. If I'm earning 100,000 and before the end of the month I've spent 50,000, I don't know how I've spent 50,000. I'll sit with print out your bank statement, look at all the expenses, look at the things you don't want, look at the things that must be repeated. For example, your bills, maybe your PSGM bills, take out the calls. I wrote something too about financial fasting, maybe for some people to also know. So what we do is that in a particular month, we will just tell ourselves, we want to spend half of what we usually spend before in a month. And we become richer by that half. It's as simple as that, but it comes from the place of discipline. For example, if you ask me how much I'm spending on fueling in this month, I can tell you I track everything. Some people say I'm crazy, but that's the truth. You must track it. If you have not looked at those things, if you don't look at those vouchers, then my wife, if we go to a restaurant and we're buying the food, more than 3 times, she has checked the bill to how much was withdrawn from our ATM, and she has corrected the cashier more than 3 times because we were billed more than what we were.
Whoa!
They paid us for more than what we were billed. You understand? So she's that meticulous to take a look at it and say, you wrote 4 bottles here. You only took 2 bottles. So I said, we are sorry, ma. we are going to refund you. Do you understand what I'm saying? But many times you are not even disciplined around what we spend money on, and we are saying that money is not enough in our hand. We don't have this and all that. It's not acceptable.
Yeah, it's true. I think I'll end with this one because we already going above our time. Is that it's always good to keep reviewing your expenses every now and then to see what can be taken off. Check your insurance, shop for better ones that can bring down the cost for you, and you can also then, the issue of buying clothes, buying shoes. You need to check what you need exactly, not because you want to show to somebody who doesn't pay your bill, who doesn't even like you, and you don't even like, you know. Buy what you need and live by it. I like to give you an example most of the time. You can see us wearing the same kind of designers, but trust me, you don't know how much I got mine. Trust me, you don't. If you know how much I bought mine, I'm sure you will return yours back to the store and be angry.
Oh,
Because I have paid for a tie that actually worth $36 that I saw initially for $36. My brother, I waited for 3 months. I went back to that store. I bought it for $3.06.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
It wasn't urgent. I love the color. I want to buy that tie, but it wasn't urgent, and I know that it wasn't urgent. So for 3 months, anytime I pass around that area, I go to that store. I check them, like, you guys are not serious yet. After 3 months, I went back there. I saw a $3. I said, you guys are ready for me then. I got it tied.
And that's discipline, because our generation always want to show off. Our generation always want to show off. We have tendencies to show off all the time. We have tendencies to do that.
Thank you so much. We're going to end this with the word of prayer from you. Please, can you please end this session with the word of prayer?
All right. Let's pray. Father, we want to thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation. Thank you for everyone on the call and those who are still going to have opportunity to watch this broadcast. I pray, oh God, that you help us in our journey. I pray for every father on the call also, that you give us wisdom to build a family that you desire. We'll be your representative here on earth. And I pray that every attack of the devil over the family will fail in the name of Jesus. I also use the opportunity for the convener that you continually renew their strength. A lot of resources is being put into this. I ask, Lord, that you bless them abundantly in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, for in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. This is a fruitful conversation. I can say that. If there's one thing I won't forget in this conversation, is that I need to actually have a financial fasting.
Yes, you should.
It's very important. We might probably have seen it that way. Sir?
Fast the dough that you spend extra bill on, fast the fries that you spend some extra bill on, and save those money for other things. It's possible. You just need to
like sometimes sometimes in a month or two, we just road completely outside. We don't buy food outside, and thank God. I even love cooking, so we just rule it out completely. Like, no buying of food outside.
Amazing. I mean, you find boys that they don't even have a car. They will take Uber to take the girl out. They will now go on public transportation back home. Stupidity. Status that doesn't help. At the end of the day, those end up with other guys. Stupidity. God help us in Jesus' name.
Well, amen. Thank you so much, sir. I'll be getting back to you shortly. All right, sir.
All right.
Bye, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, that comes to the end of today's session, and then I'm hoping to come back tomorrow with a review on all that we have done so far, and then we'll take it off from there. My name remains Ayodele Fowoshi. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, subscribe now so you can get more content like this. And then I think recently I'm still working on the series on sex, so guys, get to watch that series on sex, and then how to manage sex in your marriage. How to manage sex in your marriage. If you have been blessed by this session today, give us a thumbs up. God bless you guys. And I want to say happy Father's Day to every fathers all over the world, and even married guys who doesn't have a child yet. Don't worry, God will do yours. Until we see next time, My name remains Ayodejani Foshe. Take care, guys. God bless you and stay blessed. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for joining and thank you for watching. To my wonderful wife also for supporting all through. God bless you. Lisa D Delight. God bless you too. Thank you, Abiodun, Joshua. All right, guys. Bye.